Hello! First of all, we are going to introduce ourselves. I'm Mariella and I study Web Business and Technology at the University of Applied Science in Kufstein, which is a little town in the Austrian Alps.
Hello, my name is Isabella Irby and I am a computer science major in the United States studying at the University of Denver.
Hi, my name is Giancarlo. I'm from here, Lima. Currently studying informatic engineering at UC. I have experience working as IT support and machine learning engineer.
We would like to tell you now a little bit more about our project. First, let me tell you about what CIS is. The CIS, the Center for Internet Security, is a forward-thinking and non-profit entity. They safeguard private and public organizations against cyber threats with the power of the global IT community. Their vision is to lead the global community to secure our connected world. This organization offers a variety of tools, memberships, and services. They also created 20 different critical security controls, which are recommended to set actions for cyber defenses. Those controls were created by people who know how attacks work, but we will explain later. Now we would like to tell you a little bit about the company we selected for our research, Tesla Motors. None of us are currently working for this company, but it's very interesting for all of us. Autonomous driving is still a rising trend, which brings a lot of advantages, but also many weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Their first model, the Tesla Roadster, was introduced in 2008, and it was the first car in the automobile history that used lithium-ion battery cells with a range greater than 200 miles. Since then, they launched a few models like the Model S, the Model X, and the Model 3. They became a serious competitor in the car industry because more and more people support a sustainable lifestyle.
We would now like to give you a background on the security controls we selected. I would like to start off by giving you the definitions of each control and some evidence as to why they are important to us to consider in a company setting. After this, my colleague will express why we chose these controls in relation to our company. So without further ado, here are our controls. Control number 1, inventory of authorized and unauthorized devices. This control focuses on actively managing by means of taking inventory, tracking, and correcting all hardware devices on the network so that only authorized devices are given access and unauthorized and unmanaged devices are found and prevented from gaining access. Control number 2, inventory of authorized and unauthorized software. This control focuses on actively managing by means of inventory, tracking, and correcting all software on the network so that only authorized software is installed and can execute, and that unauthorized and unmanaged software is found and prevented from installation or execution. Control number 3, secure configurations of hardware and software. This control focuses on establishing, implementing, and actively managing by means of tracking, reporting on, and correcting the security configuration of laptops, servers, and workstations using rigorous configuration management change control processes in order to prevent attackers from exploiting vulnerable services and settings. According to Gemalto Breach Level Index, only 1% of the stolen, lost, or compromised data records in 2018 were protected by encryption. Control number 8, malware defenses. This control focuses on controlling the installation, spread, and execution of malicious code at multiple points in the enterprise while optimizing the use of automation to enable rapid updating of defense, data gathering, and corrective action. According to Checkpoint, 100% of 850 organizations in a global survey experienced at least one malware attack. Control number 13, data protection. This control focuses on the processes and tools used to prevent data exfiltration, mitigate the effects of exfiltrated data, and ensure the privacy and integrity of sensitive information. According to the IBM Putnam Institute, the mean time to recover from a data breach can be as high as 70 days. The average mean time to identify a data breach worldwide is 197 days, and the average cost of a data breach can come down by more than 50% if the disaster recovery process is automated.
Now, with all that said, we would like to explain to you why we choose these safety controls. Control number 1: inventory of authorized and unauthorized devices. This control was chosen because Tesla offers to their customer services aimed at acquiring hardware, such as autonomous vehicles and hardware accessories. One of the first steps to maintain the security of the devices is to make an inventory focused on these and their authorization permits. This control is important for the assurance, supervision, and monitoring of these devices. Control number 2: inventory of authorized and unauthorized software. As well as performing inventory controls on hardware services, it is necessary to perform an inventory focus on the list of software authorized by Tesla. One of the initial approaches in order to maintain the security of the existing software is to make an inventory focus on these and their authorization permits. This control is important for the assurance, supervision, and monitoring of this software. Control number 3: secure configuration for hardware and software. Encryption methods, security barriers such as firewalls, focus on the software control system of autonomous vehicles installed in the different hardware services they offer, are necessary and important to maintain as assurance and monitoring of the software application installed in them. Control number 8: malware defenses. Control malicious software vulnerabilities in order to avoid attackers to breach is one of the most basic security information barriers in order to manage malware threats infections. Control number 13: data protection. Tesla users store private information, also the workers of the organization. It's one of the first approaches in order to prevent data exfiltration and guard the integrity of the information. We also consider two extra security controls. Control number 4, for example, continuous vulnerability assessment and remediation. We consider this control point because it is related to detect anomalies and taking actions in order to neutralize it. But we consider the other 5 above to be the elementary ones. This control is more advanced since we consider that it requires other previous controls to be able to be applied. And also control number 12, boundary defense. While this security control will have definitely been useful in protecting against the employee breach that occurred with the facility, as setting up the cameras and identification into restricted areas will have been helpful, we found that the other security controls we selected had more precedence to the situation at hand.
In terms of Control 1, which is about inventory of authorized and unauthorized devices, but also all the other controls, we found a very interesting vulnerability that appeared in 2018. A team of academic hackers was able to unlock and drive away with the Tesla Model S within seconds due to a simple clone of the key fob. Tesla took account of this issue and implemented the option of setting a PIN that the drivers must enter to start the car. Afterward, they upgraded the encryption of the key fob from a 40-bit cipher to an 80-bit cipher, so the key fob is no longer vulnerable. There was another issue that actually includes Control 3 and Control 8. Control 3 is about secure configurations for hardware and software, and Control 8 is about malware defenses. Tesla's software version number 18.6.1 made it possible to trick the autopilot feature into dive bombing into the wrong lane, which can obviously lead to very dangerous accidents. Hackers could inject malicious code into the control mechanisms, which allowed them to take over the steering wheel from a mobile device. A spokesperson of Tesla said that the attack is not a realistic threat, because the driver can easily take over from the autopilot at any time by using either the steering wheel or the brakes, and he should always be prepared to do so. Though a technical solution for this vulnerability would be a software update.
We have discussed with you what the company has done to fix these security issues, and we would now like to offer up some possible solutions to ensure top-notch security in the long run. In order to improve controls number 1 and 2, we would suggest that Tesla Motors should increase their security measures such as two-step authentication passwords or biometric identification so that Tesla can help to protect their devices and software that require authorized use. This can be helpful to implement because with the issue of the key fob cloning, they were able to bypass the software and it did not require any form of identification to change the software, and they were able to get it. An additional security protocol they can use is doing routine auditing of all software systems and devices. By adding these security measures, it can provide additional aid in securing the authorized software and hardware. In terms of improving controls number 3, 8, and 13, we would suggest that while Tesla has already spent $4 billion in research and development from 2007 to 2017, we would still suggest that they look into new approaches. These new approaches could be anything from neural networks for looking for cybersecurity that use artificial intelligence to monitor the software to ensure that they don't see any possible breaches and that they stop any form of malware before it does damage. Or by even using USB authentication keys or tokens, which are used to gain access to an electronically restricted resources by means of a two-step factor authentication. Additionally, another approach could be to raise the encryption they currently have on their software and devices, as it would provide a greater line of defense against those trying to attack them. While there are many possible solutions to help Tesla Motors secure their company assets and data, we think these would be some of the best to implement.
With all that has been said, this brings us to our conclusion. We have concluded that the CIS controls are very useful resources in cybernetic defense tasks focused on information security in organizations such as Tesla. We focus on the security controls of number 1, 2, 3, 8, and 13. In respect to these controls, we suggested new emerging technical solutions focused on automation, like artificial intelligence security information systems, and more complex authentication methods for users and software. With all the research that we found, we can conclude that Tesla has its faults in terms of security and definitely needs to work harder to fix them, but that their way of doing research and solving their issues is very practical. We are excited to see what changes Tesla will make to their security systems and devices in the future.